Everyone loses hair, and it's normal to lose about 50 to 100 hairs every day. Dr. Jenny from AgeVital Pharmacy is back with us, and today we're going to be discussing how to keep your hair healthy and strong. Welcome back.
Hi, Nancy.
Another interesting topic.
Yeah.
And this is men and women lose hair, but why?
Everybody, about 85% of, because the stats show that according to the American Academy of Dermatology, because that's actually who you would go to, when it comes to hair loss, or an endocrinologist. So you have from the age group from 16 to about 65, people losing hair all of a sudden. It's like, what's going on in our environment that's causing women to have either dry and brittle hair, or hair that is thinning out, or it's just coming out, it's just falling out in patches.
Yeah.
I recall, with my pregnancies, it was probably the worst time of my life where I was losing hair. So the baby comes, and then 3 months later, all my hair's falling out.
Oh my gosh.
And it gets dry and limp, and then my hair was so long, Nancy, and then I had to cut it up to here just because it lost all its luster. And then women out there, they don't realize that this is hormonal. What's going on is hormonal. Like, there's physiological, biochemical markers in your body that support the oxidative stress that is associated with hair loss. So hormones is the #1 big factor. So I encourage people to go see their endocrinologist. I encourage them to go see their, dermatologist and say, hey, I need someone to check my hormone levels, specifically estrogen and testosterone. Those are the ones that are associated with hair loss. If you have too much testosterone, it converts into, a hormone called DHT, you lose hair. If you have the perfect level of testosterone, your hair actually starts to grow. If you don't have enough estrogen, it makes your hair grow. So women everywhere, when they come to my facilities or they go to one of my doctors that, uses these therapies, their hair starts to grow. And then there's natural things that people can do too.
Okay.
For example, someone's like, well, what's your daily routine? What do you do? And then I always talk about my grandma.
You have such beautiful hair.
Yeah, it gets super thick, and it wasn't like this. It was always, like I said, every pregnancy I have to, revive myself. So think of this like a garden. You have to fertilize and you have to water that garden, right?
Makes sense.
Because they're like tiny little trees growing out of your head, right? So I tell women, #1, I love doing these natural solutions like the avocado oil. I mix avocado oil with lemon juice, and I put it, in a blender, or I just mix it, and I buy one of those hair masks, and I put that all through my hair, and I leave it in there for 30 minutes. That avocado oil is loaded with essential fatty acids. It's loaded with, antioxidants, and that's nourishing the hair. It takes away the dryness, makes it super shiny, but it just encourages more growth. And I do other things like castor oil or eggs. My mom was a big believer with eggs. So I would take about 2 eggs, and I would blend the eggs, and I would give all of those peptides, those proteins from the eggs, the iron, the B12 in the eggs, it's specifically going to nourish the hair.
How often do you do this?
I do that once a month. So once a month I give, instead of going and buying like a, like a keratin treatment, that can be pricey, super pricey. You can go in your refrigerator and you look for whole food ingredients that help revive the hair.
And that's what we've talked about, going as natural as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and it works. Why mess with a good thing?
Right. But you brought some natural supplements here too that you recommend.
Yep, I formulated this specifically for my guys with alopecia, the women that have, pattern balding, and then, the alopecia, the guys will get all these male pattern. It's genetic. As you get older, the body just naturally starts to become deficient, and it slows down. So this just helps to, anti-age your hair follicles. So it encourages those hair follicles not to die.
What are
Metabolic Hair Pro. This is a combination of Aroma Dim and B12, biotin, iron, and the folate. So this is the big one that has everything in it.
It has all 3 of these.
So you take 2 pills of those a day, and you'll watch your hair grow thicker and stronger and shinier.
Really?
Yep. And then some people that just have hormonal issues, they have no deficiencies in the vitamins. I just recommend the Aroma Dim because it blocks a lot of the, synthetic hormones, and it detoxes. And then I have the B12 and the folate. So B12 and folate, it nourishes red blood cells. And think of your hair. This is basically cells that have died off and is growing. I mean, it's pretty miraculous when you think about it.
Yeah.
It's like, look at these cells growing out of my head.
So how long would someone have to take that to notice this change?
Oh, within the first 2 to 3 weeks, you notice a change.
Really?
Right, yeah. And not only is it helping your hair, your nails grow. So your nails and your hair are very similar. So then you're going to have strong, healthy nails, and you're going to have strong, thick
So it
mane.
benefits a lot of other things other than just your hair growing. I mean, because your whole body is just one big organ.
Yep.
So it benefits.
It's going to benefit the full body.
everything.
Yeah, but this one is specifically formulated for hair, but it's going to strengthen the immune system because of all of the cellular support that you're getting from that supplement.
Okay, so somebody should actually then, if they start taking this, they should continue.
Yep, I continue. I never stop.
okay.
And the moment I stop, I feel like my hair, you know, I could stop for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I go, oh, why is my hair all of a sudden not as shiny? So it's just because you ate doesn't mean you're no longer going to be hungry. So you got to think of supplementing vitamins as part of your eating, your daily eating routine. You have to constantly water yourself, and you have to constantly nourish and feed your body. Otherwise, it starts to degenerate.
Yep. And that happens, I mean, how you said between 16 and
Yes, well,
as young as
16 to
16?
65, yeah, and 16-year-olds will go through it. There's something going on in our environment right now. It's so toxic, and I think
And
it's
foods too.
the foods are all
everything.
synthetic.
And
Nancy.
stress, is that relative?
Stress 100%. Cortisol, that goes with the hormones.
Okay, great. Well, thank you again, and we'll
you.
see you next week.
Thank you.
With more financial tips, Esther Holt with Star Financial Solutions is back with us right after the break.